My husband, seeking a thrill, invited his ex-girlfriend to our home while I was away on a business trip. When I caught them, he instantly decided to feign amnesia, demanding, "Who are you? Why are you breaking into my house?" Facing my fury, he didn't regret his actions at all. Instead, he got more and more into his act. "What nonsense are you talking? My wife is right here beside me. How could it be you? Are you trying to impersonate my wife by taking advantage of my amnesia? Do you think I'm that easily fooled?" The idealized ex also provocatively declared, "That's right, I'm his wife. You imposter, get out." Watching his hopeless, overly theatrical behavior, I was utterly disappointed. Though I could have produced our marriage certificate to prove him wrong, I resolutely chose to turn his charade into reality. "Get out. My wife is Luna. I don't even know you. If you don't leave now, I won't be so polite." Seeing his endless, overly theatrical behavior, his hopeless act, my heart felt as empty and bottomless as an abyss. This wasn't the first time he had pulled stunts like this. "Don't expect to fool me with these photos on the wall. I'm sharp, I won't be easily tricked. Unless you have absolute proof, like a marriage certificate. But that's impossible. Luna is my wife, how could you possibly have one?" Marcus's voice came again. Last time, he had feigned amnesia because of his ex, Luna. I had believed he was truly suffering from amnesia. I tried every method, like an idiot, to prove that he and I were husband and wife. It wasn't until I finally presented our marriage certificate that he reluctantly believed me. And now, with his overly theatrical behavior, he brought up the marriage certificate again. His clear eyes were probably prompting me to produce the marriage certificate, that solid evidence, to prove our relationship. That way, just like last time, he could easily get through this using the excuse of amnesia, without taking responsibility for his AC. Tie-ins. That way, I wouldn't just be unable to blame him, I'd also worry about his amnesia returning and shower him with extra care. But none of that had worked. Instead, it had only caused him to escalate his behavior. Looking at Marcus's indifferent attitude once more, my heart bled. I clenched my fist and didn't follow his lead. Instead, I countered, "Do you truly not believe I'm your wife?" Heh. Marcus scoffed, "Anyone can forge something, but a marriage certificate needs to be registered and can be verified anytime. Your forgery would be useless." Then he nudged Luna beside him. "Wife, hurry and kick this woman out. How dare she impersonate you?" He thought I would panic like I had the last time, quickly pull out the marriage certificate, and try my best to prove myself. But he didn't realize how absurd his behavior was. He was treating me like an idiot. It was like a person having to prove they're human, not a dog. I was utterly desperate, and I absolutely wouldn't do such a foolish thing again. I yanked the wedding photo off the wall and smashed it onto the floor. "If being with me makes you so miserable that you choose to lose your memory, then let's get a divorce." My single word, divorce, caught Marcus completely by surprise. His face was filled with shock, and he blurted out, "Grace, you." Hearing him accurately call out my name, not treating me as a stranger. Indeed, he hadn't lost his memory. Watching him panic after letting it slip, memories flooded back. I still remembered the first time I saw him. I was instantly drawn to his cheerful and handsome demeanor. When I fell ill, he didn't hesitate to give up his plans for graduate school, caring for me meticulously, even bathing me. When he first confessed his feelings, his face turned bright red. His adorable awkwardness when we first moved in together. He managed everything in our home with dedication. If I mentioned wanting to travel, he'd stay up all night creating an itinerary. Over the years, the seeds of our love had spread to every corner of our home. And now, here he was, right in front of me, holding someone else's hand, feigning amnesia without a hitch. Meeting my cold gaze, Marcus realized his mistake in his haste. His face flushed crimson, but he continued his clumsy act. "Huh? Why did I suddenly call out your name? Did we actually know each other before?" Looking at his expectant eyes, I shook my head. "No, we don't know each other. I'm just a fraud. You don't need to care if we know each other or not. Since you have a wife, of course, we need to get a divorce. Otherwise, your relationship would be illegitimate." My answer seemed to be outside Marcus's expected script, leaving him stunned. He frowned fiercely at me. "What nonsense are you talking about? We don't even know each other, how could I be married to you? Do we really have a marriage certificate?" Watching him still performing with all his might, I calmly stated, "The certificate is fake. You were drunk that day, and I tricked you into getting married." Seeing my insistence, and my refusal to play along with his superb acting, Marcus fell silent. Luna, on the other hand, had a gleam in her eyes. She straightened up and chuckled, "Haha, That's exactly right, Marcus. It's my fault for not keeping a better eye on you, which allowed you and this fraud to get married. But it's okay, you just need to go with her to the county's office and get the divorce certificate. Facing the expectations from both Luna and me, Marcus's eyes darted away, lacking confidence for the first time. He stammered, this. I had no idea something like this actually happened. This is too sudden. Let me think about it carefully. Watching evade, seemingly wanting to gloss over the matter. I really didn't understand why he was refusing the divorce. Didn't he love Luna deeply? For her, this wasn't the first time Marcus had feigned amnesia. In the past, I probably would have angrily confronted him why. My pain. But now, I no longer cared what he thought. It didn't matter anymore. He had feigned amnesia for his ex once, then again. Each repeated act of feigned amnesia brought me nothing but insult and hurt. I could tolerate his various moods, but I could not tolerate his repeated betrayals. Knowing his unyielding stubbornness, I provocatively said, "It's just a divorce, why are you hesitating? What? Are you reluctant? Can't let go?" Luna, hearing my words, was consumed by jealousy. Though we should have been rivals, she now sided with me. She looked at the wavering Marcus and asked, feeling wronged, "Marcus, didn't you say your heart only had room for me?" Under this double pressure, Marcus finally grit his teeth and exclaimed, "Fine, divorce then. But you, get out now. This is my residence. You are not my wife, you're not allowed to stay here." Marcus was furious. He seemed to be threatening me. In the past, I probably wouldn't have been able to tolerate it. But now, I suddenly felt a lot lighter. "Fine, I'll go." I turned and left directly. I went to live in another residence. This had been bought by my parents as a wedding gift for me. But back then, Marcus was completely unwilling to live in this residence. He found fault with it in every way, saying it wasn't good, and insisted that I buy a residence far from my family's as our marital home. After buying the new residence, this place became where I stored my memories. Whenever I had an argument, I would come here alone for a few days. Sometimes, looking at the photos on the wall, filled with memories of Marcus and my youth, I would calm down, remember his good qualities, and then humble myself to appease him. But now, looking at these photos from different periods on the wall again, the old feelings were long gone. They only made me feel irritated. That night, I was scrolling through my phone and saw Marcus's highly publicized Facebook post with Luna, full of affection. In the photos, they were hand in hand, openly affectionate, like a match made in heaven. Marcus's friends below left a flurry of astonished comments, "So jealous, truly childhood sweethearts and a match made in heaven. What's going on? How is Marcus with Luna again? Shouldn't he be with Grace? Who says exes can't get back together? Two people who truly love each other will find their way back, no matter how far apart." Posting this so publicly, Grace will see it, won't she? So what if she sees it? I think Marcus should be with Luna. As for Grace, she's simply not worthy of Marcus. Grace only became CEO of the group at such a young age because she's an heiress. She can't compare to a highly accomplished graduate like Luna. I think Marcus's decision is absolutely right. Exactly, money isn't everything. Only true love is eternal. Reading these replies, I gave a bitter smile. So this was how Marcus's friends viewed my relationship with him. It was easy to imagine how his mindset had changed under the influence of these friends. This environment had led to his reuniting with his ex, and also to his repeated acts of feigned amnesia. Thinking back, when he was poor, I never looked down on him. I thought that by giving him the best material life, I could win his true affection. But now, I realized I was wrong. Even if I gave him the best material life in the entire world, I couldn't control a person's heart. Everything had changed subtly, quietly, gently, and yet so naturally. Snapping out of my thoughts, I immediately canceled Marcus's supplementary credit card. Then, I called a friend. "Help me investigate someone." Late at night, as I was about to go to sleep, Marcus called furiously. "Grace, what do you mean? Why is my card frozen?" I said, "That's my supplementary credit card. Freezing it is my right." Marcus angrily retorted, "But I've been using this card. How can you freeze it without even a word? Don't you know my friends are waiting for me to settle the bill? You're making me lose face." Listening to his complaints, I almost burst out laughing. "You're not my husband anymore. Why should I let you squander my money?" Before he could continue his rant, I directly hung up. Soon, he called again, but this time I simply turned off my phone and went to sleep. My friend's efficiency was remarkable. The next morning, information about Luna over the years appeared before me. So that's how it is. Looking at the intelligence. I nodded calmly. Help me with one more thing, quickly. After giving instructions, I opened my phone to a string of messages from Marcus. I feel like I'm remembering something. We've really met before, haven't we? Last night, a memory flashed in my mind, you holding my hand, us walking together on the beach. Also, the year you were sick, I was still a graduate school student, but I gave up my chance at graduate school for you, and resolutely chose to take care of you, bathe you. Seeing him play his tiresome amnesia game again, I chuckled. Had he forgotten who was hysterical on the phone last night? Or was it only after I cut off his card that he remembered who his wife was? But before I could reply, Marcus sent another message. I'm not sure if these are dreams or reality. What should I do? His feigned questioning seemed to be offering me a graceful exit again. But wasn't it ridiculous? He was with his ex behind my back, even openly brought her home. He hadn't expected me to return early from my business trip, and when I caught them, he feigned amnesia. And now, after I'd cut off his card, he was starting to offer me a graceful exit? Once, I had foolishly followed his script. But now, I just felt like I was a gullible idiot back then. I decisively replied, that's just your dream. Marcus replied almost instantly, but I found your contact in my phone, and I even saved your name as wife. Seeing this message, I laughed. His attempts to win me back with feigned ignorance only made me more disgusted. I replied, stop pretending. I'm not your wife. Let's get a divorce. I'm already at the county's office, you should hurry up and come. He sent a few more messages, but I was too lazy to even glance at them. If I hadn't cut off his card, would he have recovered his memory so quickly? These years, I had given him everything I could, the balance on my cards. But he never cherished it. And, his beloved, wouldn't give him the balance on her card, instead, she needed to squander the balance on his. What a bitter irony. I arrived at the county's office and waited for nearly 2 hours before Marcus finally appeared. He had brought Luna with him. After they got out of the car, they kissed without a care in the world. I watched calmly, and once their little show was over, I stepped forward. Since you're both here, let's go inside. My firm tone made Marcus uncomfortable, seeing that he seemed to want to back out. I fanned the flames. What? If you love your Luna, shouldn't you hurry and divorce me? Luna looked at Marcus, complaining, Marcus, it's just this last step. Under the combined pressure, Marcus gritted his teeth. It was supposed to happen anyway. I had thought this time the divorce would go smoothly. But just as we were about to enter, Marcus suddenly squatted down and said, my stomach suddenly hurts so bad, Luna, take me to the hospital. Watching his pathetic act, I shook my head. Not hurting earlier, but now, at the last minute, his stomach hurts. Before I could retort, Luna said, displeased, Marcus, a stomachache isn't a big deal. Just bear with it a little longer, and once the papers are stamped, I'll take you to the hospital immediately. No. Marcus grabbed Luna's arm, his eyes red, as if he really was in intense pain. I need to go now. I really hurt a lot. But, this? Luna was clearly unhappy. I, however, smiled. They say true blessings often take time. For me now, divorcing Marcus was a blessing. In that case, go to the hospital first. We can come back this afternoon to finalize the divorce. I waited until the afternoon, but Marcus seemed to have disappeared. He didn't show up again and didn't reply to my messages. I knew he was stalling. But divorce would allow him to be with the person he loved. Wasn't that a good thing? Shouldn't he readily agree? Why be so unwilling to let go now? He's truly sick in the head. A few days later, my friend came over. Ever since I saw Luna's information from over the years, I had asked my friend to do something for me. Now, he had completed it. I gave my friend a sum of money. My friend immediately politely refused, it's too much. I said firmly, it's not too much. I need you to do one more thing for me. If you do this well, I'm willing to give you even more money. After giving instructions, my friend nodded and left. Just as I was about to drink a cup of coffee, Marcus appeared. He also had a key to this residence. He didn't need to go through me, he simply let himself in. Seeing him reappear after being gone for several days, I calmly continued to drink my coffee, as if I hadn't noticed him, a living, breathing person. Marcus bit his lip, watching me silently for a long time before finally speaking. Are you pretending not to see me? I adopted his earlier attitude and said, excuse me, who are you? Why are you breaking into my house? Marcus began stiffly, I remember now. I remember everything, Grace, I'm your husband. Are you having hallucinations? I scoffed. How could you be my husband? Your wife is Luna. He seemed to have anticipated I would say this. He took out a few photos and handed them to me. Remember these? This is a picture from when I proposed to you. And this one, our first Valentine's Day together. This one, our wedding anniversary. He chattered on, constantly bringing up past events, trying to rekindle my feelings for him. But I suddenly interrupted him, mimicking his earlier words. Why are you photoshopping pictures to impersonate my husband? Don't expect to trick me with these shoddy methods. I'm sharp, I'm not that easily fooled. It was almost the exact same words, but it felt like a harsh slap to Marcus's face, instantly draining the color from his cheeks. He stomped his foot in anger, his chest heaved. Yes, you're right, I am a stranger, and you are not my wife. Seeing me still cold and unmoved, he turned and ran. He stumbled while going down the stairs, tumbling down a dozen steps. When he picked himself up, his face was covered in tears. And I, still coldly, said, please don't break into my house again. Grace, you're a bastard. He didn't linger. After cursing, he cried and ran out. In the past, no matter how great his mistake, seeing him like that, I might have felt compelled to go out and comfort him, or even forgive him. But now, I only felt a profound calm inside. No ripples whatsoever. As if everything was just as it should be. That evening, I once again scrolled through Marcus's Facebook post, showing his affection with Luna. This time, it was accompanied by the caption, no matter what, it's good to have you by my side. Below, his friends left a flurry of comments. Looks like these two are really getting back together this time. After all, first love is the best. So envious. Didn't Grace get a divorce? Should have divorced ages ago. What does Grace have that can compare to Luna, besides being rich and arrogant? She's completely unworthy of Marcus. I briefly skimmed the comments on Marcus's Facebook post. This time, I chose to be an observer and commented below, congratulations, true lovers always find their way to each other. Soon, a guy sent me a message. It was Ethan, Marcus's college classmate. Grace, what's going on between you and Marcus? Nothing much, just getting a divorce soon, I replied. Ethan sent a surprised emoji and asked, how could that be? Your relationship was always so good, wasn't it? I remember Marcus used to constantly post about your affecti on Facebook, making all of us single guys so envious. How could you two be so sudden? Did you change your mind? Or did Marcus actively abandon you? Watching's relentless questioning in the chat box. I just thought this guy was very gossipy. But after a moment's thought, I replied, what do you think? Ethan replied with an embarrassed smiling emoji. Did he find his first love again and dump you? I sent him a thinking emoji. And didn't reply further. I woke up the next day to find Ethan had sent many messages late into the night. The most important one was, Grace, what do you think of me? As I was wondering, another friend of Marcus's, Kevin, also sent me a message, Grace, are you there? After a brief chat, Kevin cursed, Marcus really didn't appreciate the blessings he had. What part of Luna can compare to you? Watching curse Marcus like this, I was a bit puzzled and opened Marcus's Facebook post again. When posted his previous update, Kevin had clearly commented there, egging Marcus on to break up with me soon and saying I wasn't worthy of Marcus at all. But now, this person was secretly messaging me, badmouthing Marcus. Two-faced. There really were manipulative men like this in the world. Sure enough, Kevin then subtly began expressing his sympathy for me, and mentioned that he was also single, and so on. Seeing that I wasn't getting the hint, Kevin became more direct. Actually, I think you're a really great person. If possible, could we try something? As if afraid I might misunderstand his initiative, Kevin added, don't get me wrong, I'm not a casual person. But actually, I've liked you for a long time, and because of you, I haven't dated anyone until now. If you and Marcus hadn't broken up, I wouldn't have dared to express what I truly feel. Watching repeatedly explain himself, I laughed. Marcus was surrounded by such manipulative people. No wonder Marcus was capable of doing those things. I was in no mood to deal with Kevin anymore. I got up, intending to go to the office. As soon as I stepped out, I saw Marcus, his eyes red and swollen from crying. He was squatting outside the door, weeping continuously. What are you doing back here? I asked calmly. Have you agreed to the divorce? I'm sorry. Marcus looked at me, his eyes brimming with tears. I didn't know how long I had waited for this apology. When he first feigned amnesia, perhaps if he had said I'm sorry then, I might have forgiven him. But now, this apology came too late, far too late. I'm sorry, Grace, I'm truly sorry. Marcus said with a choked voice, I really shouldn't have feigned amnesia, and I shouldn't have clung to the past. During this time, I've thought things through. I've wronged you. Please forgive me this one time. Can we reconcile? I didn't speak. I walked past him. As I was getting into the car, I looked back and said, if you truly understand your mistake, you should agree to the divorce. But if you don't, I'll find a lawyer to handle it. Without another word, I drove away. When I arrived at the office, a sudden downpour began. The heavy rain lasted all day, showing no signs of stopping even by the time I was off work. I stood by the window, looking at the city drenched by the storm. For some reason, the image of Marcus squatting and crying outside my door this morning appeared in my mind. I had thought I could easily let go of everything. But now, thinking about it, people are emotional beings. How could I be absolutely indifferent? Just then, my secretary knocked on the office door. She came in carrying a takeout container. Ms. Grace, your husband brought you dinner. He? I looked at the heavy rain outside, then at the takeout container in front of me. Yes, Ms. Grace, Mr. Marcus personally delivered it through the heavy rain. The secretary said enviously, your affection for Mr. Marcus truly makes all of us colleagues so jealous. In the past, I would have felt sweet inside. But now, my secretary's envy led my heart with a bitter sadness. I asked, where is he? Mr. Marcus asked me to deliver it, and then he left. The secretary said, the rain was very heavy outside, he was completely drenched. I originally told him to deliver it to you himself and wait for the rain to lessen before leaving. But Marcus said he didn't want to disturb your work. He also told you to take care of yourself, not to work too late, and to come home early because he has something to tell you. I nodded and asked the secretary to leave. Opening the takeout container, it contained all my favorite foods. Thinking of all the meals he had cooked for me over the years. Thinking of him staying up late waiting for me to come home when we first started dating and lived together. A series of flashbacks played in my mind. For some reason, a hint of melancholy settled in my heart. Just as I was about to eat, another sound came from outside the door. Then the door opened. A handsomely dressed man burst in, ignoring my secretary's attempts to stop him. It was Kevin, Marcus's close buddy. He also carried a takeout container. The rain is really heavy today, and I know you're a workaholic, so I specially cooked dinner for you myself. Kevin's words trailed off midway. Seeing someone else's dinner already on my desk, he paused. It seems I'm late? Looking at this manipulative man, I smiled calmly. Please don't come to my office again. Kevin looked at me with some disappointment. Marcus has already moved on with someone else, can't you give me a chance? Am I really so unworthy of you? I stated directly, yes, you are indeed unworthy of me. He hadn't expected me to be so blunt. He angrily punched the door and left in a huff. Taking over the family business and becoming CEO of the group at such a young age seemed glamorous, but I knew it wasn't easy. I worked until 10 at night before I could finally breathe a sigh of relief and leave. The rain outside had stopped. As I was driving home, passing the bus stop, I saw a guy holding an umbrella waving frantically at me. Grace. Seeing my car pass, the guy was overjoyed and walked over happily. Great. Grace, could you give me a ride? The one who flagged down my car was Ethan, Marcus's college classmate. It was late at night, and he was alone. I probably should have felt sympathy and given him a ride. But now, I had no good feelings towards any of Marcus's friends or classmates. I didn't want to stop, but he was already in front of the car. I had no choice but to slam on the brakes. Watching him repeatedly pull at the car door, I frowned. Having no other option, I reluctantly gave him a ride. As soon as Ethan got in, he complained, the office is too far from home, and with such heavy rain, I was completely stuck. Good thing I ran into you. I didn't engage, coldly asking, where are you going? Sensing my coldness, Ethan frowned slightly. Harmony. Sit properly and buckle up. I drove off directly. Too lazy to say another word. When we reached the complex entrance, Ethan opened the car door, and as he was about to get out, he asked, thanks for the ride, do you want to? No. Before he could say anything else, I flatly refused. Ethan looked at me with some hurt. I just wanted to thank you. No need. I curtly and coldly refused again. Ethan didn't say anything more and got out of the car. Even after I drove a long distance, he was still standing there, seemingly wanting to watch me leave before he would go back. I didn't linger. I didn't want to have any interaction with anyone connected to Marcus. Back home. It was already 11 at night. All the lights in the house were on. I knew Marcus was inside. Sure enough, he was just like before, asleep at the table, the food on the dining table cold and untouched. In the past, this scene had touched my soft heart countless times. But now, the sight felt ironic and laughable. I walked around him, preparing to go upstairs. Perhaps the sound of my P.S. woke Marcus. He called out, "You're back?" I stopped and looked at him. He paused, then said, "Are you hungry? Why don't you take a hot shower first, and I'll warm up the food. You can eat something before going to bed?" I asked, "Why bother?" "What?" Marcus looked at me expectantly, seemingly not understanding what I was saying. I shook my head. "You should be putting this effort into your wife, Luna, not me." Marcus lowered his head. "I know I've wronged you, but Luna, what she does is none of my business." I suddenly felt an intense surge of emotion, snapped at him, and turned to go upstairs. I went into the bathroom. I took off my clothes, about to shower. The door behind me opened. Then a pair of broad shoulders wrapped tightly around me from behind. Marcus rested his head on the back of mine. "I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry. I know you hate me now, but no matter what, we're not divorced yet, and I'm still your legal husband. Please let me bathe you one more time, just like when you were sick back then." This time, I didn't refuse. I calmly watched to see how he intended to continue his performance. He was very proactive. And very dedicated. A night of intimacy. When I woke up the next morning, he was already dressed and standing before me. "I never noticed before, but you look so cute when you sleep." Seeing that I didn't respond, he chuckled, "I've made breakfast. It's all your favorites. Hurry and get up, or it'll get cold and won't taste good." Seeing him act as if he had reverted to his old self, my heart suddenly ached. But I still coldly stopped him. "Even if you do this, I'm still going to divorce you." I had expected him to disagree. But this time, Marcus was surprisingly direct. "All right, I agree to the divorce. But next month is your birthday. Please let me spend this birthday with you. Then, whatever you say, I will agree to unconditionally." I hadn't expected Marcus to agree so readily. It felt somewhat unreal. After a moment, I said, "Since W. Erie breaking up, let me give you a gift." I handed him the content of my chat with Kevin. After reading it, his face turned ashen with rage. "Kevin. I've always considered him my best friend, but I never imagined he was so two-faced, a scheming backstabber in secret. You really should vet your friends properly." I gave a knowing smile. Marcus gritted his teeth and exclaimed, "I'm definitely cutting him off." Seeing him as if waking from a dream, I originally wanted to tell him some things about Luna. But after thinking it over, I decided to hold off for now. A month later. May was approaching. Marcus had arranged a birthday party for me well in advance, saying it would be our last night together. Thinking that after tonight, I could finally get a divorce, I gladly agreed to go. When I arrived at the party, many people were already there. Not only Marcus's friends but also my own. However, some people looked at me with a strange glint in their eyes when I arrived. Since was nowhere to be seen, I aimlessly drifted through the party, occasionally chatting with friends. Soon, I overheard some gossip. "Did you hear?" "Hear what?" "I heard Marcus is going to make Grace look bad tonight, saying he's going to teach Grace a lesson or something. You can imagine the details yourself." I think I heard something similar, that Marcus committed marital infidelity and got together with his ex, and later Grace wanted to divorce him. Is it true? It must be close. I also heard that Grace is no good either. Before even divorcing Marcus, she tried to hook up with Marcus's buddy, Kevin. I heard that too. Grace, relying on her wealth and power, tried to toy with Kevin. Of course, Kevin wouldn't agree, so Grace offered him $5 million on the spot to sleep with her for one night, $5 million for one night. Phew, that's a lot of money. Did agree? No, he didn't. Kevin said it wasn't about the money, it was about personal integrity and dignity. Well done. I quietly listened to the gossip. At first, I didn't know who was spreading it. But after hearing the later details, I generally understood. Kevin, that scheming opportunist, would have bowed down for $50,000, let alone $5 million. Could he really resist $5 million? Only he could possibly concoct such a story. I figured Marcus must have had a serious falling out with Kevin, which prompted Kevin to deliberately spread those rumors. I didn't pay too much attention to it. Before long, a commotion erupted upstairs, and Marcus finally appeared. He wasn't alone, he entered hand in hand with Luna. Luna was wearing a diamond-studded snow gown, looking like a celestial princess. Her dazzling radiance, opulent attire, and stunning figure caused an immediate stir in the room. "She's so beautiful. Luna is absolutely radiant tonight. I know that dress. It's called the White's Embrace gown. A world-renowned designer spent 5 years handcrafting it, encrusting it with 999 top-tier diamonds. A few years ago, It fetched an exorbitant price of $99 million at an auction overseas. Later, everyone found out it was Grace who bought the White's Embrace gown. Grace even used that dress as her wedding gown when she married Marcus. Amidst the gasps, my face grew increasingly grim. They were right. Back then, to give Marcus a grand wedding and as a testament to our love, I had spared no expense to buy the White's Embrace gown and matching tuxedo set. On every anniversary, we used to put on our Snow's Embrace outfits. It felt so sweet at the time. And tonight, Marcus was using my birthday as an excuse to put the White's Embrace wedding gown on Luna. Marcus and Luna made a grand entrance, hand in hand, wearing my former wedding attire. It was then that I understood his meticulous scheme. He intended to use this birthday party to publicly humiliate me. What a cruel, venomous ploy. Inevitably, as everyone watched in awe, Marcus proudly led Luna directly to me. They stared at me smugly, as if displaying a victory. Is this the birthday party you're throwing for me? I asked Marcus, needing final confirmation. He sneered, that's right. Did you think I was groveling to you because I couldn't live without you? I wanted to publicly humiliate you tonight. I want you to know that leaving me was the biggest mistake of your life. After tonight, you'll be the laughingstock of everyone. He whispered maliciously into my ear. Then, facing everyone's gazes, he raised Luna's hand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grace's birthday party tonight. You're all friends who've honored us with your presence. You know that Grace and I are still married. But since you're all here, I'll take this opportunity to make an announcement. I, Marcus, am officially announcing today that Luna and I are together. As for Grace, I'm dumping her. Marcus then pulled out a set of divorce papers and declared to everyone, these are the divorce papers. I'll sign them right now, in front of all of you. He signed them with a flourish and handed the divorce papers to me. Looking at the divorce papers and the strange looks from everyone around me, Marcus expected me to be utterly humiliated. But he was wrong. I waved my hand, and a lawyer stepped forward to review the divorce papers for me. The lawyer checked them and nodded to me. Ms. Grace, these are the exact divorce papers we sent, everything checks out. Good. Since everything was in order, I signed without hesitation. As soon as I signed, I felt a huge weight lift from me. I looked back at Marcus and Luna's smug, arrogant faces and smiled. You think this humiliates me? You think you've settled the score? What else would it be? Marcus retorted proudly. Luna also sneered, Grace, from today onward, everyone will know that you are a complete and utter failure, always beneath me, always under my heel. Is that so? I smiled. Since the gloves were off, the favor I'd asked my friend to do finally came into play. I immediately made a call. Begin. Marcus and Luna stared at me, clueless about what I was doing. Suddenly, all the lights in the banquet hall went out. Immediately afterward, a projected image appeared clearly on the darkened wall. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the projection. It displayed a series of Luna's misdeeds from her years abroad, frequenting various unsavory places, even spending time in prison, along with compromising high-definition footage and photos of her with various men. The climax was explicit photos involving multiple people. The crowd gasped. Is that Luna? Luna looks so pure, but I can't believe she was so wild overseas. She's so dirty. That's sickening. That last picture is too much. The lights flashed back on at that moment. Facing the disgusted looks from everyone, Luna's face turned pale. Grace, you're so devious. Her words were an undeniable admission that everything was true. A fresh wave of gasps and murmurs spread through the crowd. I gave a small smile. Compared to you, my methods are barely a tenth of yours. Before could explode in anger, I clapped my hands again. The venue fell silent, and an audio recording clearly echoed throughout the party. The recording played Luna's voice. Heh. You don't actually think I like Marcus, do you? That idiot, I'm just playing with him. Once I've drained him of all his money and gotten bored, I'll dump him. As the audio recording reverberated through the venue, Luna panicked completely. But such a petty schemer wasn't my main target. Of course, I did all this for Marcus. If exposing Luna's dirty laundry from abroad was a harsh blow to Marcus, then this audio recording was a devastating strike, completely shattering all of Marcus's illusions. But to my utter shock, and everyone else's, Marcus didn't collapse when he learned the truth. After discovering the truth, not only did he not appear disgusted by Luna, but he actually grabbed her in front of everyone and kissed her desperately. After an epic kiss hat lasted over 10 minutes, Marcus looked at me, almost crazed. Grace, you think you can defeat me like this? You're laughable. Even if Luna deceived me, even if she doesn't like me at all, even if she's just toying with my feelings, I don't care. Not only do I not care, I'll still love her, I'll love her to death. Even a Luna like this is a million times better than you. Thanks for watching today's story. If you like this video, please like and share with friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your views, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.